Okay, this is your starter activity. If you want to pause the video and give yourself about 10-15 minutes to have a go at these questions and then come back, I will show the answers. You can pause again and then I'm going to go through each question. Okay. Okay, these are the answers. I'm going to go through each question and you can obviously skip forward until you find the question that you're wanting me to go through for you. Okay, so the first three questions here. Question 1, we are decreasing by 40%. So, we know 100% is equal to £502. So 10%, we can get that by dividing by 10. So 10% is going to equal £5 and 2 pence. So 40%, if we times by 4 to get from 10% to 40%, that is going to equal £20 and 8 pence. So what I need to do now is decrease, so I need to do a subtraction. 502 subtract 20.08. I'm going to take off the £20 first, then I'm going to take off the 8 pence because it's a lot easier than doing a column subtraction. So take away 20, that's going to take us to 482. Then I'm going to subtract my 8 pence. So that's going to be, in terms of money, £481 and 92 pence. Question 2, rounding this to the nearest significant figure. So if I write the number out again, my first significant figure is going to be this one here, the 9. So we need to look next door. This is going to tell us to round up the 8 because it's 5 or larger. So it's going to be 0.0. This would round up, but when this rounds up, it affects this place value column. So that will change it to 0.01. You could put 0.010. I would probably not, because they've asked for one significant figure. And if you put 0.010, you've put two significant figures. And then question 3, we are looking to factorize. So we need to find our factors of 24. Because remember, we need to multiply to make this number and add to make this number. So our factors of 24 are going to be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 4 and 6, 3 and 8. Making minus 5, these aren't going to be any help. These aren't going to be any help. These will be making 2s and 10s. These are the numbers that are going to make 5s and 11s, and we want minus 5 in there. So I had 2 brackets are going to be x's in there. We know we're going to have a 3 and an 8 in there, so we can write that in. We need to think about our signs. Because it's minus 24 in the question, we know we need one positive and one negative, because that's how we multiply to make a negative number. And it's got minus 5 there. They need to add they need to add to make minus 5. Adding numbers together, the larger number must be negative if we're going to add them together and then they turn out to be negative. And we can check that by expanding. So we'd have x squared plus 3x minus 8x minus 24. This would come together to be minus 5x. So we know we are correct. Question 4, splitting into the ratio. So there's 5 parts here. So if we were to draw a box for this, and we draw a line down to split it in the ratio 2 to 3. This whole system equals £102. So to find what one box would be, we're going to do 102 divided by 5. So we can do a bus stop for that. Remember, these are all non-calculator skills, so this is why I'm doing all of this. 5 into 1 is 0, carry the 1, is 5 into 10 is 2, 5 into 2 is 0, put another 0 with a decimal point, carry that over, and 4. So £20 and 40 pence in each box. See if I can squeeze them in. Okay. So we then need to do, well, we've got 2 lots of £20 and 40 pence, which is £40 and 80 pence. And we've got 3 lots of £20 and 40 pence, which would be 3 lots 20 is 60, 3 lots 40 pounds is £1.20, so £61.20. That would be it split in the ratio, them two values there. You would write it back in a ratio format like this. When you're writing in a ratio, you don't need your unit signs. 2.9 squared is the same as 2.9 times 2.9. Times in decimals, I would always make them into whole numbers by multiplying by tens or hundreds. So if I multiply them both by 10, I'm going to get 29 times 29. What I'm then going to do is get the answer to this, and then divide by 10 and divide by 10 afterwards to balance it back out. 29 times 29, I don't particularly want to do that, so I'm going to do 30 times 29, and then I'm going to take off 129 from the answer, because I'll have had one lot too many. So 3 times 29 is going to be 20, 60, 80 plus, 20, 40, 60 plus 3 lots of 9, so 87, and 30 times that will be 870. Taking away one lot of 29, because this is 30 lots, we want 29 lots, so we want to get rid of one amount. Bit of column subtraction here, so 841. But we then need to divide by 10 and divide by 10 because of what we've done here. This is the answer to 29 times 29. Obviously way too big. We know 2.9 squared is going to be somewhere around 9, because that's what 3 squared would be. So our answer would be 8.41. And question 6, 4x cubed when x is minus 1. So that's the question we're being asked. 4 lots of minus 1 cubed. Well, minus 1 times minus 1, that would be minus 1 squared, equals positive 1. And then if we do 1 times by negative 1, that would be negative 1. So this is really saying 4 lots of negative 1, so it equals minus 4. I did this step down here because cubed means times by itself 3 times. And then our final 4, estimating. So instead of saying 4.8 cubed, I would say 5 cubed. Remember, one significant figure. And instead of saying 5.2 squared, I'd write 5 squared. And then I'm still going to square root all that afterwards. 5 cubed is 125. 5 squared is 25. And we're still square rooting all of that. So that turns out to be the square root of 100, which is just nicely 10. The nth term, well, hopefully you can just see that these numbers are our square numbers. So the nth term is n squared. 250 of the product of its prime factors. You might remember it as a factor tree. We can split it up. I'm going to split it into 25 and 10, because 25 times by 10 equals 250. You can do it in any way. You can divide it by 125 and 2. you'll get the same answer. I can split 25 into 5 times 5. Those are prime numbers, so I'm going to circle them because I can't split them any further. And then 10 is 5 times 2. So my final answer is 2 times 5 times 5 times 5, or 2 times 5 cubed if you want to be fancy. And question 10, expand and simplify. So 2x minus 1 brackets 2x plus 1. We're going to do our FOIL method that you nicely taught me. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. Then we're going to go for our inner. Minus 1 times 2x is minus 2x. And minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. These terms we can collect. They'll actually equal to 0. So it's just going to leave us with 4x squared minus 1. Alright, peace.